Hello. Good morning. I don't hear any good morning to me. Oh, I hope all are there after your short little break. And welcome back, my dear children. Oh, how nice to hear that. Thank you. Okay, good morning. I hope you got a short break and all in full swing to attack the bio class, right? Okay. Before I start my day, and welcome all my dear nines, what do you say? Lovely to be, I'm very happy to be back today, and after all the weekend, and I hope you had a nice weekend, and I'm sure there are some did and some were with the notes, and you have to update your notes and submit it on time. And I really appreciate children who are doing it on time and sending it, especially my subject and my classes. Maybe the same is happening for the others also, B and C, 9A and D, but still there are people hiding and still coming on, and they're waiting to send. But please do send. We teachers understand that there are things to write, different subjects. Must be on time. If any problem, especially my class, 9A and 9D, any problems comes by, you have to immediately alert me, otherwise I will not know. Okay, and for whoever is submitting their notes, I am recording it and I'm marking it. Okay, so today we will we'll continue with our chapter, tissues. And I hope you first chapter, there I have seen most of them have just written 25, 26 questions. Actually, there are 34 questions. See, there's no harm in asking your friends how many are there or what is the last question. Some have just stopped till lysosomes and have given me the book. No, my dear children, the last question is, if I'm not wrong, it is mitosis and meiosis, the differences. Okay, then don't count and, oh my God, there are questions. These are things which are important for you to study. We cannot see, if we were in the class, we could have given in points or, we can say important. But now we have to give like questions 1, 2, 3, so it all are important. So please, whenever you are done with your work, confirm with one of your buddy or one of your friend and ask which is the last one. Because whenever we start a next chapter, the previous chapter, the whole thing, the notes will be done from my end. Okay, and you have to check out the last question with your friend. Any one of your friends who are, used to completing the work on time, please inquire. Because most of you I've written down the names. Most of them I've just reached 25 and just uploaded on to the Gmail. No, my dear, there is the last question comes as mitosis, meiosis, if I'm not wrong. And that is the last question which you're supposed to know that for the first chapter. Okay, so if some of you are still in struggle with the halfway only, get it done with the help of your friends. I mean, ask which one, but I've already said it now. So you have to complete. If you're not complete, please complete and send. And let's move on. So last class we started with the chapter tissues, and we said about plant tissue, animal tissue, and what is a tissue. And I think you must have also got a bit of notes about it. We said a group of cells that are similar in structure, and they they come together or work together. They work together and they form a particular task. Okay, so that is the main thing. You can write the definition in a way that it should be correct. It should not be just simple. Definition means be accurate and to the point. So you will get full marks. So, and then we discussed about plant tissue and differences about plant tissue and animal tissue. Main points, normally they ask the differences, and we started with plant tissue as such, and we have done with the meristematic tissue, the dividing growing cell or dividing. They are divided into 3, and the apical, lateral, and intercalary. If you have completed your notes, you will know what I'm talking. If you're not completed, now some of them must be looking in the air. What is she saying? Okay, if you have completed and gone through what I've given, okay, whatever we learned, you don't have to, have this twinkling stars on top of your head. Okay, so now let's go further. We have already learned about what I said, meristematic tissue. Now there's something, plant tissue, meristematic and permanent tissue, they are divided into. Now we are going to learn more about permanent tissue, how it is, the division there. See children, tissue is a chapter. We the characteristics, the features are very important. Write the features of permanent tissue you should know, or write the features of meristematic tissue, or explain. You must be very thorough in writing. You should learn it thoroughly, and you have to write. So here now, what is the permanent tissue? We are going to learn what is about permanent tissue. Now, when our meristematic tissue they take up a specific role, and they lose their ability to divide, immediately they form what is called a permanent tissue. So when a meristematic tissue, dividing, we know that simple word dividing, or the growing cell. So there, when it takes up a specific role and loses ability to divide, they will immediately form what is called a permanent tissue. Now, this process, there's a process, a name for it. This process of taking up a permanent shape, specific role I said, shape, size and function is called differentiation. Okay? The process of taking up a permanent size, shape and function is called differentiation. This is related together. So when a meristematic tissue take up a specific role and immediately loses its ability to divide, a stop, if it comes, a stop happens there in the dividing part, what will happen? Immediately they will form what is a permanent tissue. And the process that is taking up like the permanent shape, size and function is called differentiation. See, all this is important. You cannot leave anything. So when I have highlighted, everything is important. So be along with me and come. I'm not telling it is such a chapter which will immediately you will get it in your head, but read through, try to learn. Then only you will understand. Or next class you don't go through this and you sit in my class, nothing will work out. That is why I'm saying. Now here, differentiation leads to the development of various permanent tissues. Now permanent tissue, they are also divided. Can you see? The other one, meristematic, they also got divided in 3. Here, now the permanent tissue, when meristematic takes up a specific role and immediately they lose the ability to divide, they form what is called permanent tissue. And that process, whatever is happening, is called differentiation. Now permanent tissue is divided into simple permanent and complex permanent. My God, simple wala and the complex wala. Okay, simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Are you all with me, or are you sleeping after that little break? Are you all with me? Okay. Now here, simple permanent tissue is divided further. Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, all the chymas. Okay, easy to remember. This the half part you just have to remember. Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Here, complex permanent tissue is divided into xylem and phloem. That we have been hearing every now and then, xylem and phloem. It won't be that, it is not that unfamiliar words. But here, chymas, we have parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, and 2 more chymas you are having here to learn. That we will do it. Okay, there are 2 more to be told to you. Here the main ones, these guys. Parenchyma, simple permanent tissue. Now we'll be learning about simple permanent tissue and as well as complex permanent tissue. So simple permanent tissue is divided into parenchyma, or dear collenchyma and sclerenchyma, and complex permanent tissue is divided into xylem or phloem. So differentiation, the process of differentiation leads to the development of various types of permanent. Because of this, differentiation leads to all this. Now here even your text, they do have this. Okay. Now there are, see, these all are cut sections and can be only watched through a microscope. Such things can be, they do the thing in a lab, you have to cut it and then you get only such sections. These sections given. So then only you can see like this, it is there in your text itself and different, you don't get scared with all the markings. If it's needed, I will let you know. But mainly, why I said epidermis, the outermost layer. You cannot see this like this unless you cut it and you have it in a slide and do it in the and watch it under a microscope. So this is done under a microscope. Then only you see such a section here. So if you guys were here, you could have seen this, but unfortunately no. So a few layers below the epidermis, a few layers, and I mark the epidermis so that you get to know, is where we can find the simple permanent tissue. Just a few layers below the epidermis, you can find what the simple permanent tissue. Those, the parenchyma, chloronchyma, sclerenchyma. Okay, so the epidermis, a few layers below that, you find the simple permanent tissues, and they are made up of one type of cells which look like each other. So they look like each other, and they are made up of one permanent. They are one type of cells, and they look like each other. This is simple permanent tissue. Below the epidermis is where we could find the simple permanent tissue. This is there in your text, but I don't know how much it is clear. I tried my best to get the image a little more big. I think you can see. I hope you can see. I wanted you to know where the epidermis is, and below that, a few layers below that, is the simple permanent tissue. Now we are going into detail about parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Okay, these are important. You have to be with me. Now, parenchyma is the most common simple tissue. In the simple permanent tissue, they are the simple one, the common simple one, and it consists of relatively unspecialized cells within cell walls. Now, unspecialized cells means cells, these are cells that keep on dividing, and later they become specialized cells. So unspecialized cells, so it consists of unspecialized cells. Unspecialized cells are also found in stem, they are normally in stem cells, and these have the ability to keep on dividing, and it will reach a stage that they become specialized cells. So but here it is like, it consists of relatively unspecialized cells within the cell wall. So parenchyma is the most simple tissue. Okay, parenchyma is the simple permanent tissue we are talking about, and it consists of unspecialized cells within the cell wall. They are living cells. See children, when I've always been telling you, when I highlighted, it is understood, it is important. I don't have to decorate this slide and tell you. Okay, it is important. Now, how they are found, in the structure. They are usually loosely arranged, and thus they have large, when they usually loosely arranged, what happens? There'll be big spaces or large spaces between the cells. So that is called intercellular spaces. You just have to know mainly intercellular spaces, another word for it. So they are usually, parenchyma is usually loosely arranged. So when they are loosely arranged, obviously there'll be a lot of spaces between them, or large spaces between them. That's intercellular space. Now, what is the function of parenchyma? They generally store food. Okay, the most common, parenchyma is the most common simple one. What does it contain? Unspecialized cell within the cell wall. Cell wall comes only in plant, okay? Be with me. It's not animal we are talking about. We are talking about plant tissue. Then they are living cells, and they are loosely arranged. When they are loosely arranged, it is understood that there are large spaces between the cells. And the function, main function, they store food. Let's move on. Now here, I said two more I have to tell you about. Now that is one. Now in parenchyma, now when chloroplasts are present, you know chloroplasts are plastids. Okay, chloroplast that gives, that is chloroplast. Where is it? It's in the plastid section, in the cell organ there. So when chloroplasts are present and parenchyma performs photosynthesis, when chloroplasts are present and parenchyma perform photosynthesis, then such a parenchyma is known as chlorenchyma. Okay, I know so many chymas, that is what I said. You will have to learn all this. There's no way out. This is coming at a parenchyma. We are talking about parenchyma. Again, I'm saying first one, we have reached only the first one. The first most common simple tissue, parenchyma. Again, I'm saying when chloroplasts are present and our dear parenchyma, they perform photosynthesis. What happens? Such parenchyma is known as chlorenchyma. You can see how green it is. Chloroplast, the chlorophyll pigment. So I just gave an image so that you get it to you that it is like this. Okay, chlorenchyma. Now we go further. Again, I said I have one more to tell you. We have in aquatic plants. Okay, in aquatic plants, I hope you understood. You can see. This is how we're going to do it. We have to cut it section, and then only such things can be. Accordingly, we have to do it, and then we can see under microscope. And this is the aquatic plant. I just want to know what aquatic plant. I know you all know, but you never know. In aquatic plants, large cavities are there to show that. That is why I put an image. Are present in parenchyma. That helps the plants to. Naturally, we have seen so many aquatic plants. Some are floating plants, some are fixed plants, right? Some are fixed, floating, and some are just submerged right inside. So here in aquatic plants, just to show you that there are large cavities are present in parenchyma. What will happen? That will let the plants. So you have seen the water plant, they float. Why they float? There's a reason for it. They just cannot just simply float. So in aquatic plant, there are large cavities are present in parenchyma. Again, I'm saying parenchyma, the first simple common permanent tissue, and that helps the plants to float. So such parenchyma is known as parenchyma. You don't worry about the pronunciation. You can, as long as you have the word correct. So you have done with chlorenchyma and parenchyma. Aren, because it is aquatic, large cavities are there. So parenchyma. These two come under parenchyma. The the chlorenchyma and the parenchyma, it comes under the parenchyma. So again I'm saying, in aquatic plants, there are large cavities are present in the parenchyma that help plants to float. And such parenchyma is known as parenchyma. It is there in the text, but I have given, but you have to know what is what. Don't think that is not needed. This is also needed. It comes under parenchyma. I hope you have understood what it is, the chlorenchyma, the parenchyma, and the main features of parenchyma. Today full of chymas. Don't worry, there's no way out. You have to know all this. Now from the picture itself, you can make out what is it. Somebody is moving up or the plants are moving up. Normally, what type of plants move up like this? What type of plants are there at your home? You have the climbers or the money plant. Can you see? So there is, if I put an image, there's a reason for it. Now, normally the flexibility now we are going to the next one. That is what is called chlorenchyma. Now, how do you know this? Is the features they given. Now, the flexibility in plants is due to another permanent tissue called the chlorenchyma. Okay? What does that flexibility means? Like plants, they need support to move on, or they need to depend. So what happens? It allows, this chlorenchyma, it allows the bending of various, you can understand from the image, that it allows the bending of various plants like tendrils and stem of climbers. So they help the chlorenchyma, they help the what type of plants? The climbers. Why? Without break. You have seen, they move so beautifully, and I think most of your houses will have all this climber type of plants, like the money plant mainly. Okay, they move, but how? It just does not move by itself. There are reasons. So now you know why, how it is moving, because of this permanent tissue called chlorenchyma, and it also provides mechanical support. These are the characteristics, features you have to know. I've given in boxes. You can see how I've given, so that you can later note down. So chlorenchyma helps, it allows the bending of various parts of the plant, like tendrils, okay, and stems of climbers. Tendrils, grades, right? You have seen, how they grow. That's because of this tissue, permanent tissue, chlorenchyma. And it provides mechanical support. I'm not expecting everything will enter your head now, but slowly, gradually, when you learn, when you read 2-3 times, you will understand what I meant. This is the way only you can make the chapter a little more, simple. I've done my best for you to get this into your head. Not head, heads. Okay, now here we can know, the other one, parenchyma, we said they are loosely, they have large spaces and they loosely arranged. Here now the cells of chlorenchyma are living. There also it's living parenchyma. Elongated, you can see it is there in your book. Okay, there are diagrams that you have to learn. Parenchyma, chlorenchyma and sclerenchyma diagrams are there in your text. Mark it, you have to learn to draw and know how to mark it. Here they're living, elongated and irregularly thickened at the corners. Okay, they are a thickness, irregular thickened means irregular, they are not having regular shape as such, and they thickened wall at the corners, and there is very little intercellular spaces. So the other one, Parenchyma, they had large spaces, but here in Collenchyma, the spaces are less. So it has very little intercellular spaces. Let's move on. Now we come to our dear, oh my God, somebody says, oh, this is a coconut, my God, coconut outer covering. Yes, coconut outer covering, it has a great role. The husk of coconut, we say. There also it has, it does not happen. Okay, the tissue, now here also tissue plays a great role. The tissue that makes the plant hard and tough, who plays a great role here? The Sclerenchyma. Got me? Yes, each tissue have their role. Okay. The other one, you saw the Chlorenchyma, Erenchyma in the Parenchyma section. And here now, this Sclerenchyma has a great role. Okay, the tissue that makes the plant hard and stiff, like in the husk of coconut, is because of Sclerenchymatous tissue. Big long words, you don't worry. Sclerenchymatous tissue. You just have to pronounce it once and the spelling will come up. So because of this tissue, the husk of the plant, because of this feature, hard and stuff, is due to this type of tissue, that is Sclerenchymatous tissue. I hope you have understood this. So we are done with the... Here now, again the features, how it is. The other two living, the Parenchyma, largely they have large space. Here the Collenchyma, they have very little intercellular spaces. Now here in Sclerenchymatous tissues are, here the cells are dead. The other two are living, but here it is dead. Features, long, narrow. Here the walls are thickened. Collenchyma, I said, irregular thickened, but here they're thickened due to lignin. Lignin is a compound or substance that helps in the rigidity, to remain rigid. And this tissue is present. Now where all it is present? In stems and around vascular bundles, in the veins of leaves and the hard covering of seeds and nuts. So where is this tissue present? One, the stems, then the veins of leaves, then in the hard covering of seeds and nuts. That is why I gave an example, that is husk of coconut. And then what is the function? It provides strength. Okay? It provides strength. That due to the substance, that lignin. It's a compound that is there in it and for rigidity to remain rigid. So it provides, this tissue provides strength to the plant parts. Where all it is present? In stems, in the veins of leaves and the hard covering of seeds and nuts. Are you all with me? I hope so. Okay. This is not there. Okay, thank you. Yes, you're with me. Thank you. Now, this I have given for you to understand. This you can write down later, okay, so that it is easier to remember. This is how you learn. I've always told you, you can make in boxes and learn. That will be the best thing to remember. Parenchyma, where it is found? Where it is found? Beneath the epidermis. The features, they are living cells. They consist of unspecialized cells within the cell walls. They have large intercellular spaces. Now what is the function? Stores food. You can write down this because this is easier. If you make boxes and learn in your rough note, it is very good. You will remember. You don't have to write in big paragraphs. This is more than enough. Okay. Then about under Parenchyma comes the Chlorenchyma. Here again it is found beneath the epidermis of stem and leaves. Features, they are living cells and they contain the chlorophyll pigment and it performs a process called photosynthesis. What is the function? Obviously we know it is to prepare food. Okay, this is the way to learn. You don't, in the book they have given in paragraphs and when you read, you think a lot of things, it goes out of your head. Nothing, no worries. I'm really telling nothing to worry. Learn it like this. If you learn it like this, it is under you can just write it quickly. Learn it like this, write it like this, like found, features, functions. I did make this for you guys so that it will be easier. Now we go forward. I'm just brushing up what we have earlier done. Here Erenchyma, again the Parenchyma one, that beneath the epidermis in the aquatic plants, features, living, large cavities, main features, function, helps the plant to float. Next, we have the Parenchyma. Where is it? Again, beneath the epidermis and leaf stalks, features. And then it is given features, living cells, elongated and irregularly thickened at the corners. I hope this is easy for you to understand than writing paragraphs. Do make it a point when you're learning this, do it like this. It will just, I'm sure you will be able to learn this like this. Function. What is the function of Parenchyma? Provide plants with flexibility, okay? Allows the bending of plants bending without breaking. It will, you have seen, right, when the money plant grows without breaking, it just moves on. So beautiful to see that. It just goes on, it moves on. So if you have not watched that, just do watch. If you have a money plant at home and it is done in a right way, to, for it to move with a support. It's so beautiful to see it. Then provides mechanical support. Because of this Parenchyma, such things happen to the climbers as climber section. Then we have our dear Sclerenchyma, found where we have said already, found in stems, around vascular bundles, then veins of leaves, hard covering of seeds. That is why I gave you husk of coconut. That's one example I said. Features, dead cells, long and narrow with thickened walls due to lignin and no interspace inside the cell. Okay? And the function is makes the plant hard and stiff, provide strength to the plant parts. So this is the way, this is what we said, simple permanent tissue. And we have done with Parenchyma. We're done with under Parenchyma came up the Chlorenchyma, the Aerenchyma, lot of chymas. Then the Parenchyma, and then the Sclerenchyma. So the simple permanent tissue we are done with, and now we move on. Now we go to the complex permanent tissue. Okay? Now we go to the complex permanent tissue. Now here complex permanent tissue, we have said it is divided into xylem and phloem. Already we have mentioned. Now here complex tissues or complex permanent tissues are made up of more than, naturally the complex word itself comes, more than one type of cells. Here all these cells coordinate to perform a common function. Okay? And what are the xylem and phloem? Are the examples of such complex tissues. There we go. I've said in the beginning of the class, xylem, they help in conducting nutrients and water, okay, from the roots to the plant out. And phloem, I have already mentioned that they, whatever food is made by the leaves, it is distributed to different parts of the plant. That is one, just giving just 2 lines in the beginning itself, so that you guys know that we are going to do that in this chapter. Now here, both xylem and phloem are both conducting tissues, and they constitute what is called a vascular system. Earlier we have mentioned what is vascular system, and I mentioned what are they. So that is what is here now again. So xylem and phloem are both conducting tissues. One, they get water from the roots and they pass on to the plant upward, and the other one, phloem, it distributes the whatever food is made to different parts of the plant. That is how you learn the function. Then only it will enter your head. So both are conducting tissues and constitute what is called a vascular system in plants. So you can see a xylem vessel and you can see a phloem vessel. There you can see the structures. You don't worry about a lot of things about it. You can see how it is. A xylem, how does it look, and a phloem, how does it look. Now we are moving on. Now the vascular system, the xylem phloem, is an accumulation of conductive tissue. Again here, they are conducting tissues and they have supportive fibers. That is what. Now what does xylem does and what does phloem, the function of it. Xylem tissue transport water, as I said, transport water and dissolve materials to the leaves. Okay, whatever water they get from the roots, they take it up and they transport this water or the nutrients and dissolved materials to the leaves. That's the main important thing you have to know. Phloem, what it does, it conducts food from the leaves to all the parts of the plant. This is the vascular system. You can understand what it consists of accumulated, that again is complex, right? Accumulated accumulation of conducting tissues. They have their conducting, and it has supportive fibers. What is their function? Xylem transports water, okay, and dissolved materials and nutrients to the leaves from the roots, from down. And here this guy, phloem, it conducts food from the leaves to all parts of the plant. Are you all with me with xylem and phloem, or are you all sleeping? I know there are so many things. I mean, this is just going out of your head. Don't worry. There is time for you to study. It will go. I have taken it, in bits and pieces so that it really enters your head. Now, our dear xylem, it's not ended there. We thought xylem, phloem, it's done. No. You must understand how complicated a plant can be. What we do, we see here plants are destroyed, that is destroyed, and we sometimes even people unknowingly, knowingly they stamp plants, but you must understand such tissues, such things are there in them. They are living. Okay, now we understood how complicated they are too, but not as complicated as us. I've told you plant tissue is not as complicated as animal tissue. Okay, here now our dear xylem. Okay, it consists of called tracheids, vessels. That's what earlier the xylem vessel, phloem vessel we saw on the image. Tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers. It is there in a text, I believe. A tracheid, vessel, xylem parenchyma, xylem fiber. Easy, simple diagrams. You have to know this. It is important. Tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers. Here again features come. Tracheids and vessels, they have thick walls, but many are dead cells when they mature. When they mature up, many become dead cells. Both are tubular structures. Tubular, you know how the earlier chapters we have learned, the cell organelles have tubules. How it is tubular structure? And this allows, because both are tubular structures, this allows both tracheids and vessels to transport water and minerals vertically to the leaves. Okay, xylem transports water, we said, right? So down from the roots it goes to the leaves. So because of these tracheids and vessels, because of the tubular structure, it allows water and minerals vertically upwards to the leaves. So you got me? Here tracheids and vessels are there, and because of the structure, tubular structures, this allows the tracheids to transport water and minerals vertically to the leaves. Again, our dear xylem parenchyma, it stores food. Xylem fibers, the function are mainly supportive function, supports. That is the main function. So, to make it easier, I've done this for you guys. Tracheids and vessels, features or characteristics. Thick-walled. When they are matured, they are dead cells. Tubular in shape. Transports water and minerals vertically to leaves. Now I'm sure it must be entering your head slowly. Xylem parenchyma, living cells, thin cell walls, large vacuoles, stores food. Xylem fibers, thick, lignified dead cells. You can write like lignified if you don't remember. Thick, dead cells, mechanical supportive function. Main points you have to remember. Xylem is over. Sorry, there was just a problem network. Now we continue. We have done with the xylem. Now we go to the phloem. Phloem again, here also they are divided like the xylem in different parts. The sieve, we say the sieve cells, we say the sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers, phloem parenchyma. So many of things, right, today? So much of this. That's what I said. How you must understand how these many things are there in our dear plants. You can't even imagine how it is. After knowing this, you must be wondering, my God, such things are happening in our plants. See, that is what I said. So xylem, we have done different parts. Now we have the phloem. It is again 5 types of cells. Sieve cells. The diagram is there in your book. You have to learn to draw that also. It's easy. It's not that tough. Sieve cells, sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers, phloem parenchyma. Now here again, as we have done with the xylem, the sieve tubes and tubular cells with perforated walls. Okay, see, they have tubular cells. That will be more easy for you to remember. Then phloem transports food. Again, phloem transports food from leaves to other parts of the plant, except phloem fibers. Other phloem cells are living cells. Except phloem fibers, other phloem cells are living cells. So sieve tubes, they are tubular cells with perforated walls. Tubular cells is more better, you will remember. Then what does phloem does? It transports food from the leaves to other parts of the plant, except phloem fibers and other phloem cells are living cells. I've made it easier for you to understand. Okay, some points are there which is extra, don't worry. Here whatever we have, I've given you earlier, what we have discussed, you can write into it. If there is something extra which you find it difficult, then we can see. Just a minute, some network connection. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. There's a little network problem at our end. Now we have the sieve cells. They are living cells, elongated in structure. They lack nucleus. You don't worry. If the main points which you can remember, you just have to learn. And they transport organic compounds. These are the main points actually. So what you can remember, please write it down. What I've discussed, what you can, or I will give you in the answers. If it is there, that's more than enough. If there's extra, if you can learn extra, learn. Otherwise, what is given in the answer, that's enough for you to learn. Sieve tubes, again, living cells, elongated structure with perforated walls, fragmented. You don't worry about the nucleus, I just for your knowledge. And transports food, mostly sugar. They sieve tubes normally transport food, that is the sugar. Then we have the companion cells, living cells. They are closely associated with the development of sieve tube element. They all are connected. So they help each other and they are associated with the development and function of a sieve tube element. Here again, you don't worry. I've just given for loading and unloading sugar into sieve. Giving up and taking out. That's all. Okay, you don't worry about that. Just for people who want to know more. Phloem fibers. Here dead cells, narrow and elongated, supportive in function. Phloem parenchyma, living cells, and they transport of food. So till this much, now we have done with the simple permanent tissue. The permanent tissue divided into simple permanent, then I said complex permanent. We have done with the parenchyma. We have done with the parenchyma, they have the chlorenchyma, the aerenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Somebody was saying, oh, lot of chymas. What to do? There's no way out. You have to know all this. What I've given in the box, like in this this class, you can write down like this and learn, rather than learning. Or I've given in the book also in the question answers. You can learn like that. It's up to you how you take it and learn. Main points should be there. Then I have we have mentioned about the complex permanent tissue there. We have the xylem and phloem. You saw how complex it is. Obviously, xylem, tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma. Okay, we are, and then phloem for phloem fibers, phloem. We have the sieve tube, sieve cells. They are complicated. That is why they've been given that, because they play a great role in transport of materials up and down, inward and forward and back. They play a great role. So you have to go through this today itself. Okay, the notes I've given, please write it down and make time and learn. So before I end my session, for today this much is enough. We will do further, because in your text it's given further. You might see some portion I've just left. That is for the next class. We will be talking more about epidermis, okay, and that is for the next class, and then we'll move on. So for now, this much is enough for today. Our dear permanent tissue divided into both, and already you are into this now, I know. So before I end my session, I would like to have maybe interact. Okay, for today this much is enough. I'm winding up, and so see you. Do complete your work and keep yourself updated with whatever teachers are teaching you, and we'll meet you in the next class. Bye, children.